Morning. I don't even know. Did my intro even come up this morning? What is happening? Well, good morning. Welcome to Morning Brew with your girl Germaine. Okay, we getting it together. I still feel a little freeze, but how's everybody doing this morning? And hopefully we are still streaming, and we probably just had a blackout screen or a whiteout screen, but nevertheless we're back. Welcome to Morning Brew with, yes, it's your girl Germaine. I do apologize for any technical difficulties that we're having. So if you are chiming in today is Friday, which means it's Authors Brew Friday. And so this Authors Brew Friday, what we're going to be doing is it's the last Friday of the month. So we're going to be doing our bite-sized learning. This gives you, those that are chiming into the conversation, it gives you an opportunity to, hey, just learn a few things, especially if you're a business owner, if you're an author. On Fridays, the last Friday of the month, I like just taking a moment and kind of giving you some insight information on how it can help you build your business. Perfect? Good enough? Okay. So let's talk about some things. Now that I had to start all over, everything kind of disappeared, right? So here we are, guys. Like I said, if you are here, if you're chiming in, thank you so much for your patience. Today, um, it is Authors Brew Friday, bite-sized learning edition. And you don't need more content. You need structure that relates your knowledge, that translate your knowledge into value, organizations, understanding, organize. Let me take a deep breath. Bear with me. Let's take a deep breath so I can collect myself. Okay. One little glitch will throw you all the way off. So let's do this. Let's take a moment so we can pour into purpose. So let's take a deep breath and release. Deep breath and release. That always helps calm me and center me. So here we are. Okay. Thank you if you are chiming in from afar, if you're coming into the community. Thank you so much for your patience. So let's get started, okay, with this. Today is Friday, which Fridays is Authors Brew Friday. For anyone that's new that's chiming in, we like to interview authors on Friday, bring them into Morning Brew's conversation so they can share their stories with us, right? But the last Friday of every month, what I like to do, I like to switch it up a little, and I like to focus on bite-sized learning, because we're always learning, right? Especially if you're an author, you have a book, there's some things that you may want to know that you may not know, to help really move your book throughout the marketplace, to get it into the consumer's hands, or how you can turn your book into a business, how it can become more than just a book. So I take the on Fridays to be able to share those things with you, especially as a publisher. Focus on you don't need more content, you need structure that translates your knowledge and value. Break it down a little, okay? I do have 3 lesson points that I'm gonna break down for you today. Not gonna hold you long, but let's talk about, there's a lot of your community has knowledge, experience with. Think about your own story, right? The knowledge that you don't know how to do most times, and this could be yourself as well. Sometimes we don't think about packaging, how we're going to package it, how we're going to price it, and how we're going to be on social media. So I'm really big when it comes to intellectual property, IP. You own it. You created it. You own it, right? Your IP. But what happens once you create something? And we can keep it in the vein of a book. You telling and sharing your story, right? So you are modeling the next level move in real time. So I want you to keep this in mind. This is leadership teaching, not just motivation. I want you to really start thinking, okay, now that I've created this book, what else? What do I do with it next? All right. So I see that I'm freezing up. I'm not sure if it's still conveying my message. I truly apologize. I've been having difficulties all week. Maybe it's my internet provider, Verizon. Could very well be. They had that whole blackout, whereas we were down for almost 24 hours. I'm not sure what it is, but I do see that I'm frozen on my screen. So hopefully it's still coming across on my platforms. All right. And so so I wanted to so in lesson 1, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up on the screen real quick. Bear with me. I did have it all set up, but because my screen went down, it went away also. So let's see. These are some things from our lesson 1, knowledge versus training. What most people do. So most people teach what they know. Okay. Most people talk about their journey. So I want you to keep this in mind as we're dealing with this, because you've created a product. You may be someone with a book. And now that you have this book, it's not just let me sell it and that be your only revenue stream. No, let's look at how you can take what you know, how you can take your story, and how you can talk about it and advance it on different levels and different platforms, right? So training versus knowledge. So what do you know? What organizations look for? So if you have something, right, that other organizations can benefit from, well, let's look at that. One, they want a problem they already have. So pretty much identifying this organization, what is the problems that they may already have that you can possibly speak to? You can be a solution for their problems, okay? And then what organizations are looking for, if you are trying to present and package something to them, they want repeatable outcomes, not just a one-off, something that's going to happen multiple times consistently. Okay. And then if you can explain, now keep this in mind, if you can't explain the outcome in one sentence, it's not ready for a boardroom. I want you to keep that in mind. Make a note of that. Okay. If you can't explain your outcome in one sentence, simplify it. Then you may not be ready just yet to take it into a boardroom to present on a larger scale. Okay. So let's talk about let's go into our lesson 2. Let me just pull this up on the screen for you so I can share this with you. Lesson 2. All right. So, in lesson 2, your book is not the product, it's the proof. So, this hits hard in maybe your system that you've put together. Books establish credibility. And as a publisher, I always tell people that, especially if it's in a target area, if it's a skill that you want to convey through a book to teach people, books, they bring and establish credibility for you, right? Training generates revenue. So remember, we talked about your book. If your book is something that you are teaching from, if you've created it to be able to teach from it, then keep in mind, it's not just a product that you're selling through Amazon, Barnes and Noble's different distribution platforms. Keep in mind that that book can become another revenue stream for you. It can now be packaged as training that generates another revenue stream for you. All right. Workshops create relationships. Definitely. So, um, using that one product, you're using that one product, your book. All right. And consulting builds legacy. So you have to just look at and decide, what are you packaging? What is it that you're packaging that can be offered on a larger scale to organizations that may be, your product could be a solution to their problem. So as you're creating, as you're telling your story, how can it align and how can it be expanded into multiple revenue streams? Keep that in mind. Okay. So remember, your book opens the door. Your framework, how you frame it, how you shape it, how you broaden it, how you expand it, it keeps you in the room. Remember, be in the problem solving business. We solve problems. When you solve problems for people, you always can generate revenue. Okay. All right. So, and also this naturally, well, when you do that, when you think about, start shifting the way you're thinking, that what problems do I want to solve today with the experience that I have, right? With the products that I've created. Who would be a great recipient of these products? What organizations, what businesses, what individuals? So start thinking along those lines. It's not that you're just creating a book anymore. It's how can that book actually feed into multiple revenue streams for me? All right. All right. So let's go back to number 3, lesson number 3. Let's go back here. Let's get rid of this. Okay. So let's get rid of this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. So let's get into number 3, lesson number 3. Let me pull this up on the screen. I am okay. Video. All right, let's pull this back up on. Well, while things are taking a moment, let me just really start talking into it while I can pull the image up on the screen, because yeah, it's taking a moment. Okay, sorry. Audio kind of got lost. Oh my gosh, I may have to shoot this all over again. I may have to actually tape this again because this, I probably don't even want to watch this back with all the buffering breaking up and all this stuff. Okay, so right now we do have lesson 3 up on the screen. So start thinking in rooms, not followers. Shift the mindset, not how I grow my audience, but what rooms am I preparing to walk into? So it's really rethinking through some things, okay? What rooms am I prepared to walk into? All right, so example, business education rooms, economic development rooms, small business support rooms, workforce development rooms. These are just some ideas of what rooms will you be prepared to walk into with your book, with your subject, with your experiences. All right. So, now with that being said, let's do this. Let's get into some reflection questions that I can leave with you, and pretty much we'll bring this to a close. This has been a challenging Friday, Authors Brew Friday. But you know what? Like I said, I may end up retaping it over again where there's no breaks and all that information so we can get it posted. Okay. All right. So, reflection prompt questions. Reflection questions I want to leave with you as you are beginning to think through some things that we discussed today. So, what problem do you already come? What problem do people already come to you with help, like needing your help? So, think about that. And a lot of times we don't think about that. People will come to us, they'll approach us, but what happens is, do we really pay attention to what they're asking for? Because a lot of times people will tell you exactly what they need. And then you will know how to position yourself to be able to be a solution for them. Keep that in mind. So, what are people already coming to you for help with? What do they need your help with? Think about that. Okay. Number 2, can I teach this? Can I teach what I have in 60 to 90 minutes with a clear outcome? So remember, if you have a book or if you're looking to write a book, start thinking differently. Shift your mindset how you're thinking. It's not just a product. Okay. That one product can generate multiple revenue streams and open up doors and opportunity for you to be able to educate and teach others. So start thinking differently, okay? All right, so let's get into our final sip real quick. Whereas I just want to leave some things with you that you could take away, and hopefully something may resonate that say, you know what? I do have a workshop and a seminar in me. I can transfer this concept, this idea, this book into teachable moments, being able to teach others. So let's get into the final sip. You don't scale by doing more. You scale by translating what you already do into language decision making makers. Things might have to be adjusted slightly in order for it to work in a different area, different platform. Right now, you may have it in book format. It may be in an ebook format. It may be an audio book format. But that's just for someone to really enjoy, get into individually on their own, maybe in a larger group like a book club where they can discuss it amongst others. But how do you monetize that? If you have that story, if you have those a book that's on turn it into something that becomes a solution for someone's problem. This is you've told our final, you know how we do. We sip slow, identify your that's what we've been talking about today, right? Sip bold, prepare for bigger rooms. And with that being said, listen, thank you. Thank you guys so much for just stopping by. If you had an opportunity or if it came across really, I think I'm going to re um I'm gonna retape this one because it was frustrating for me. And I'm the host of the show. So, but thank you so much for stopping by. Sorry for but thank you anyway for being a supporter of Morning Brew with yes, it's your girl, and hopefully these issues will be no longer. Bye now. And now when I want to end, for some reason I can't end, right? But we're gonna see. Here we go. Let's